Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, but for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad you all could be with us as well. Well, look, for our listening audience on the radio side, I don't have to tell you guys, we can tell this spring is going to be another active storm season, and that means not just for us, but also other parts of the country as well. Well, thankfully, the American Red Cross is not only helping you guys prepare, but also letting you know how today, which is recognized as American Red Cross Giving Day, how you can be able to make a difference in the lives of others that may be affected by storms as well. Here to talk to us all about it, we're excited to welcome Jennifer Pipa to our program. Jennifer is the Vice President of Disaster Programs for the American Red Cross. Jennifer, thank you so much again for the time. Really appreciate it.
Hi, thanks, Cyrus. I appreciate the time to talk with your audience there in Mississippi.
So this is, as I was just saying to you, it's a very timely topic for us. We just went through our first tornado warning of the spring, brought it in like we typically do here in Mississippi. But overall, though, Jennifer, what is the disaster outlook looking like this spring?
As your listeners are painfully aware at this point, Cyrus, we are into severe storm season. March, April, May, these tend to be areas in the Gulf Coast along the East Coast that are kind of unfortunately ripe for severe storms, whether those be straight-line winds, significant thunderstorms, or as your folks had an opportunity to practice last night, potential tornadoes as well. And as an organization, unfortunately, we knew that the weather systems were most likely going to set up so that tornadoes were a potential option here. So we do things like make sure that we've contacted our local chapters and our volunteers, that we've got folks ready to go and supplies close by on where we think communities might be impacted, so that if they are, we're immediately able to respond. That also means working with the local, state, and government officials to make sure we're in lockstep. So after say a tornado has gone through, we're able to talk with emergency management, understand where the impacted communities are and what the needs are, so that American Red Cross can be right there ready to go to offer shelter or a warm meal or a hug to a family that might have been impacted because of a severe storm.
Yeah, we definitely saw that preparedness in our area, Jennifer, so we know that it's so true, and people do rely on the American Red Cross for that. So I think the thing is for us, and we did get warning, hey, what was forecasted to be able to come through. How can families then prepare for disasters at home before they hit?
Absolutely. There's some really simple steps that families can take. The first thing they can do is they can get a kit. So bottled water, non-perishable food, flashlights and batteries, copies of all of your important papers, as well as medications, 7 to 10 days worth of medications in case you might have to leave. The second is make a plan. You don't want to look for an evacuation route. The moment that local officials have told you to evacuate, you want to know those routes ahead of time. You want to make sure you and your family have safe, easy, familiar ways to exit your community should you be asked to do so. And then the last is be informed and be connected with your local officials. They're closest to the ground. They understand what's going on. And so if they ask you to evacuate or if they ask you to shelter in place, listen to those officials, follow their instructions. And much like your communities were last night, be weather aware. And you can do that by downloading weather apps. The American Red Cross has an emergency app. You can set your location, and we can give you warnings about watches and warnings of severe storms that come through. And then when you have this downtime, unfortunately, between those forecasted storms, you can go through the lists and preparedness actions that are much more detailed for other things that families can do to make sure that they are prepared.
Some really practical tips there. Jennifer, in my introduction, I mentioned that today, March 23rd, is recognized as American Red Cross Giving Day. Talk to us about that and how families and individuals can be able to help those in need and even prepare for those storms, too.
Thanks, Cyrus. Yeah, American Red Cross Giving Day is our one moment in time to really share with the American public what we do every single day. And while people a lot of times think about things like large-scale hurricanes and wildfires and tornado responses, the disaster that we actually most frequently respond to are home fires. We do about 150 to 160 home fire responses every single day across the U.S. And those families need the American Red Cross help just as much as a family who's been impacted by a tornado. And so this allows us to share that part of the Red Cross mission with the general population. And we ask for their support in a variety of ways, two of which are opening your wallet and providing us a financial donation, making sure that once something happens, we're there and we're able to provide not only financial assistance to clients and families who've been impacted, but also investments in local communities and the economies there. If we can buy the supplies locally to distribute, then we're just helping that community begin their economic recovery as well as individual families. And then the other thing folks can do is they can raise their hands. We are always looking for new humanitarians to join our roster of volunteers. And that may mean that you respond to house fires in the middle of the night to your neighbors just in the same community, or it may mean that you take additional training and you're ready to raise your hand and spend 2 weeks somewhere else helping a community that's been impacted by a much larger and more significant disaster. But those are the ways folks can help the American Red Cross make sure that we are ready and prepared to deliver the Red Cross mission each and every day across the entire U.S.
Love that. A really great way for us to be able to get involved. And that website for our audience is redcross.org/giving day. We're going to make sure that we link that up for you guys as well to make sure you guys can be able to go there to be able to give as well. And again, our guest has been Jennifer Pipa, the American Red Cross Vice President of Disaster Programs. Jennifer, really appreciate you stopping by and looking forward to you being on the program again.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Hey, the pleasure's definitely all ours, and we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.